Hey everyone, Nick here and welcome back to Gamerjoob, and welcome back to our Poppy Playtime character concept series. So the character we created for today's video is known as Accordimoth. So we're going to this character's backstory, gameplay mechanics, and all that good stuff as well. But before doing any of that, do be sure to leave a like and subscribe to Gamerjoob as it helps a lot and it's greatly appreciated. But alrighty, with that out of the way, let's get to the character concept of Accordimoth. So previously in our Poppy Playtime character concept series, our main protagonist found themselves inside the Advanced Research Laboratory. This was where they encountered the musical dino toys. Each of these dino toys were mutated by a special serum that the company was working on. The majority of these toy dinosaurs were out to get the player, and there was one dinosaur in particular that helped them along the way. Behind all this chaos was the sinister character known as the Patient, aka Dr. Bailey. In the end, his own serum caused his body to mutate again and again. But the player managed to beat the patient at his own game. Now that they've escaped this research facility, who knows what lies ahead? But all our main protagonists can do is move forward, and soon enough, they'll find themselves in a brand new section of the factory. After walking through many different corridors, they finally reach a new area. This area of the factory is known as Melody Manor. Melody Manor is the location where Playtime Co. would develop and create all of their musical toys. These toys would include Bunzo Bunny, Pianosaurus, all the other musical dinosaurs, and even Boxy Boo. Melody Manor was once a place filled with jolly tunes and happy faces, but these days this whole area looks abandoned. The player knows by now this can't be the case. There's bound to be some sinister toys still lurking around this area, and it's only a matter of time before the player meets them face to face. Well, speaking of, let's introduce our new musical toy character now. So the next character we're introducing is known as Accordimoth. Accordimoth is a mix between the musical instrument, the accordion, and the extinct animal, the woolly mammoth. His body is covered in fur and is split into two separate parts. Connecting these parts is a large accordion bellow. His body can stretch and retract just like the real instrument. But his most noticeable feature overall is his two large tusks and his accordion trunk. So Accordimoth was considered to be quite the friendly toy. He wasn't selected to be a part of the final musical toy line, but he didn't really mind at all. He was just happy to see all the others get selected and sent off to the Advanced Research Lab. This being the case, the toys left here in Melody Manor never underwent the SM-27 trials. But since Accordimoth was left here, he decided to make himself useful. He devoted himself to the workers and helped them out in any way he could. He would carry and push heavy objects without ever complaining. But as time went on, the workers took Accordimoth's helpful nature for granted. They were never thankful for all his hard work and expected him to do everything. Even when his body became withered and worn, they still worked him to the bone. They didn't care about him at all. To the workers, he was just a thing. If he ever broke, then they could just replace him with another toy. This horrible treatment unleashed a darkness within Accordimoth. His resentment towards these horrible workers transformed him into something unrecognizable. In his angered state, Accordimoth began to attack all of these workers. Anyone who dared get close to him would be attacked with those deadly tusks. Eventually, Accordimoth got rid of all these ungrateful workers, and now he roams around this area in search of any workers that he may have left behind. And the next person he sees, he'll surely attack on sight. So the player has to be careful and look out for this deranged mammoth toy. Speaking of, we now return to the player's journey in this new Melody Manor area. After walking around and exploring, they discover that there really is a large manor in the center of this area. It's surrounded by a maze-like structure with multiple blockades and locked gates. Whatever's hiding inside this manor must be important. The player needs to find out what they're hiding inside and unlock the truth. But they'll have to navigate their way into the center of this area. Eventually, they come to their first blockade. It's a large accordion door that needs to be opened. The lock requires a number of accordion keys to activate the door. So the player heads out and starts looking for these special keys. As they search around, they find something that they weren't expecting. It was Accordimoth. He quickly charges towards the player and tries to crush them. But the player quickly turns the other way and makes a run for it. They quickly grab onto a handle up above them and ascend to safety. They just got out of the way before they were crushed by that furious toy. But as they look down at Accordimoth, the player suddenly realizes where these keys are located. They need to grab them off his body and then place them in the lock mechanism. But how are they going to keep him still in order to grab these keys? The player needs to think up a plan, and quickly. Whilst looking around, they see something they can use. There's a large hydraulic press that should be strong enough to hold him in place. They just need to lure Accordimoth into the press and activate the switch, so the player heads down to try and lure him out. Eventually, they grab Accordimoth's attention. He furiously charges towards the player and the chase is on. They need to keep running and lure him towards the hydraulic press. If they miss the chance to trap him, then they can simply just run back around and try again. When the moment is right, the player slams down on the switch, and the hydraulic press clamps Accordimoth in place and keeps him still. The player has finally done it. They quickly grab the keys off his back and run towards the accordion door. Moments later, Accordimoth breaks out of the press and chases down the player. But the player quickly unlocks the door and rushes through. The accordion door shuts behind them and locks Accordimoth in the first area. Now the player has advanced to the second section of the maze-like area. They continue forward in hopes of reaching Melody Manor. The player needs to prepare themselves for whatever evil toys may appear. And knowing this factory, there's bound to be other horrible toys ahead of them. But in order to find out who they are, we'll just have to wait and see. So I think that Accordimoth is another interesting addition to our roster of characters. I think his accordion design is quite fun, and his monster version is pretty creepy as well. His gameplay segment will be quite frantic and keep the player on their toes. He'll always be chasing them down and trying to crush them, and if the player isn't careful, that's exactly what might happen. So they need to make sure that they're quick on their feet. Alrighty everyone, well that's all we have for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, please consider leaving a like, commenting and subscribing, as it helps out a lot and it's greatly appreciated. As always, let us know in the comment section down below what you thought of Accordimoth and what you'd like to see going forward. Also, I just want to say a very big thank you to each and every one of you who watched today's video and helped support it as well. All the likes, comments and shares are really appreciated, and we're so glad you're enjoying our Poppy Playtime character concept series. And lastly, just a very big thank you to all of our Gamerjoob members who help support the channel. If you'd like to be a Gamerjoob member, then do be sure to hit the join button or the link down below. But alrighty everyone, until our next Poppy Playtime character concept video, I'll catch you later, bye.